All right. Welcome to another fiasco here on Monday Night Music with Ken Wanovich. Anyway, thanks for hanging in there with me, folks. Well, you and me, we come from different worlds. You like to laugh at me when I look at other girls. Sometimes you're crazy, and I wonder why. I'm such a baby when the dolphins make me cry. Well, there's nothing I can do. Been looking for a girl like you. You look at me and you got nothing left to say. I'm gonna balance you until I get my way. I won't dance and you won't sing. I just wanna love you, but you wanna wear my ring. Can't help it if I'm lucky. I only wanna be with you. You can call me a fool. I only wanna be with you. I put on a little diddling, sitting on a fence. I say that line is great, and you ask me what it meant. Said a shot a man named Gray, met his wife in Italy. She inherited $1 million, and when it died it came to me. Can't help it if I'm lucky. I only want to be with you. Ain't Bobby so cool? I only want to be with you. Sometimes I wonder if it'll ever end. You get so mad at me when I go out with my friends. Sometimes you're crazy, and I wonder why. I'm such a baby when the dolphins make me cry. Nothing I can do. I only want to be with you. You can call me a fool. I only want to be with you. Yeah, I'm tangled up in blue. I only want to be with you. Only wanna be with you. Only wanna be with you. Yeah, I only wanna be with you. Welcome everybody to another episode of Monday Night Music. Welcome. Technology is just, there's so many things to think about, and I still cannot get YouTube to work. So, I'm so sorry if you're watching this rebroadcast on YouTube later. The reason that we're doing this is because I want you to subscribe, and love to have you subscribe to my channel. So, it's Monday Night Music with a message, and people are asking me, Ken, what is that all about? What's the message, Well, I think the message is this. The message is that we're all in this together, learning to love the life that God has designed for us. And that's what the message is all about. Learning to love the life that God has designed for us. Sometimes we go off on our own. We get to a certain point. We want God's help to a certain point. We say, okay, I got it from here, God. I can take it from here. But, God wants us to walk with him always, all the way. And he's got a great life planned for us. He just doesn't want us to get off the bus too early, if you know what I mean. He wants us to stay on the bus. He wants us to ride with him. And he's got a great plan. And so we're going to learn to love the life that God has planned, God has designed for us. And there's a lot of great things in this life that God wants us to enjoy. And music is one of those. And so music is a great way to communicate. And so that's the reason why I'm doing this. And Facebook is a great medium to do it. And if you like, the music, I want you to continue to enjoy the Monday Night Musics and share it with your Facebook friends and share it with your friends and relatives and neighbors and so forth. So anyway, thanks for your patience. Thanks for watching. And thanks for being part of our Monday Night Music faithful fans. Appreciate it. You can play the game, can act out the part. They know it wasn't written for you. Now how can you stand there with your broken heart, always playing the fool? Now one thing can lead to another. It doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father, mother, sister, brother, if it feels nice, well, don't think twice. Just shower the people you love with love and show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Do what I like to do to you. Shower the people you love with love and show them the way that you feel. I know things are gonna be much better if you only will. Well, you can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. What you plan to do about your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone. Won't you tell somebody the way you feel? Then you can feel it beginning to ease. Think it's true what they say about the squeaky wheels, always getting the grease. Better to shower the people you love with love and show them the way that you feel. I know things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Do what I like to do to you. Shower the people you love with love and show them the way that you feel. I know things are gonna be much better if you only will. They say the rain must fall, yeah, let the rain, let it rain, let it rain. Oh, the rain must fall, let it rain, let it rain, let it rain, yeah. There's sunshine, sunshine, oh, there's sunshine, oh, is love. Let it rain, oh, no, no, let it rain, let it rain, let it rain. Won't you shower the people you love with love and show them the way that you feel? I know things are gonna be much better if you only will. Thank you. Oh, are they really? Oh, I don't know how to turn that off. I've never seen that before. Got closed caption for all you people who can't understand my words. Well, many of you know that Debbie and I live on the Mexican island of Isla Mujeres, December through April. And we returned to Florida just as the COVID-19 pandemic was spreading across Mexico and had arrived on the island. We were able to get out of Mexico. We were worried that we wouldn't be able to catch a flight because the flights were, they were closing, diminishing airport sections and flights in and out of Mexico. But as a result, you know, many of our friends were losing their jobs. And while we were in Mexico, you know, the restaurants closed and everything. We were there for probably, I think, 2 weeks, weren't we, Debbie? Yeah. And, you know, we saw all of our friends there with nothing to do and many of them with nothing to eat. So we started our Monday night program way back. This is the seventh one now, I believe. And so we've been almost 2 months we've been doing this, and we're sending a little money down. We're 50% of everything that comes in our tip jar, we're sending down to our friends. And, you know, we've got a virtual tip jar. And I want to show you what the link looks like. You can see it there if you go to the PayPal page. And I'm going to post that link in the Facebook page at the end of the program so that you can just scroll down to the bottom of all the comments and you'll be able to see it there. And I have something that I want to show you here. We sent some money down to our friends. There you see Hector and Roberto and Alba and Augustina and Felipe. We were able to send them money so that they could buy some groceries, and they were very thrilled that we were able to help them out, because with no work, no restaurants open, no hotels open, no fishing excursions, everybody having to stay home and so forth. Gosh, it was just something that we felt we had to do, and we were privileged to have the opportunity to do it by playing music on Monday nights and putting out a virtual tip jar and being able to come back and to Sarasota and continue this, and it's been very successful. So it's been great, and thank you. You've been very, very generous. And here in Florida, there's lots of things that we can do: walking, going to the beach, reading, playing cards, board games, and so forth. But even here, all of our musician friends, none of the regular clubs and beach bars and so forth are open. So, and Florida has a lot of music venues, so many people are still out of work, and that includes me. I haven't been able to. I mean, I'm scheduled to play places, but they're not having live entertainment, because right now they only have 25% occupancy of the restaurants, and they can do takeout, but they can only have 25% of their maximum occupancy, and none of the restaurants and bars are doing live music. So anyway, that's why we have the virtual tip jar, and so thank you in advance. Half of it's going to go to our Mexican friends so that we can help them, and we're really privileged to be able to do that, and we're privileged to have such great friends like you that have been contributing each week to our tip jar. So thank you very much. Thank you. Well, it feels a little bit like summer here, and so I thought this would be an appropriate song. It's warming up. The beaches are open now finally in Florida, and at our community here, they just opened up the pool, so things are kind of getting slowly back to somewhat of a normal thing, and thought that this song by Seals and Croft might be a way to kick off the virtual summer. See the curtains hanging in the window in the evening on a Friday night. See the light shining through the window, lets me know everything's alright. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. See the paper lying on the sidewalk, a little music from the house next door. So I walk on up to the doorstep, through the screen and across the floor. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Sweet days of summer, the jasmine's in bloom. July is dressed up and playing her tune, and I come home from a hard day's work, and you're waiting there without a care in the world. See the smile waiting in the kitchen, food cooking and the plates for two. Feel the arms that reach out to hold me in the evening when the day is through. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Great song there by Seals and Croft. Summer breeze makes me feel fine. Thank you very much. Well, if my friend Rick Firkus is watching, this is one of his favorite songs, sung by America. Rick, are you watching? Part of the journey, I was looking at all the life. There were plants and birds and rocks and things. There was sand and hills and rings. The first thing I met was a flower that buzzed in the sky with no clouds. The heat was hot and the ground was dry, but the air was full of sound. I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no pain. La 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 la. La la la. After 2 days in the desert sun, my skin began to turn red. After 3 days in the desert fun, I was looking at a riverbed. The story is told of a river that flowed. Makes me sad to think it was dead. 'Cause I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no fame. La 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 la. La 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 la. Well, after 9 days, I let the horse run free, 'cause the desert turned into a sea. There were plants and birds and rocks and things. There was sand and hills and rings. The ocean is a desert with its life on the ground and the sky with no thumb. Here, the sun is down, but the humans are giving no love. See, I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can't remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you nothing. La 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 la. La 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 Hey, thank you. Thank you. Great song there by America. Well, Debbie and I have been, for the most part, wearing our masks, face masks out in public. And it's not because we're sick or anything, but um, it gives other people a certain comfort level knowing that we're not trying to not spread germs that we may or may not have. And that's kind of a weird thing, because it's an invisible enemy, and it almost makes you want to turn against your neighbor, the people you just meet in the supermarket, in Walmart, the hardware store, at the gas station, because you're wondering, boy, what if they have the virus? What if they have the virus? And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Even though we're trusting God to keep us safe, we're always a little bit nervous, going out. And boy, I don't like that feeling at all. But whenever we are out shopping or whatever, we always, when we're in the shopping line, in the cashier line, we're always singing this song. I'm sitting in a railway station, got a ticket for my destination. On a tour of one-man stands, a suitcase and guitar in hand. Every stop is neatly planned for a poet and a one-man band. Homeward bound, I'm glad I am homeward bound. Home, where my thoughts escaping. Home, where my music's playing. Home, where my love lies waiting silently for me. Every day is an endless stream of cigarettes and magazines. And each town looks the same to me, the movies and the factories. And every stranger's face I see reminds me that I long to be homeward bound. I wish I was homeward bound. Home, where my thoughts escaping. Home, where my music's playing. Home, where my love lies waiting silently for me. Tonight I'll sing my songs again. I'll play the game and pretend. But all my words come back to me in shades of mediocrity, like emptiness in harmony. I need someone to comfort me. Homeward bound, I wish I was homeward bound. Home, where my thoughts escaping. Home, where my music's playing. Home, where my love lies waiting silently for me. Homeward bound, I wish I was homeward bound. Home, where my thoughts escaping. Home, where my music's playing. Home, where my love lies waiting silently for me. Silently for me. Great song there by Simon and Garfunkel. Homeward Bound. Well, I don't know what you've been doing in your spare time. With your busy schedules and so forth, I'm sure you got to plan out what you're doing. But I've been doing a lot more reading, and specifically, I've been reading a lot more of my Bible lately. And I love reading the gospel stories about Jesus. And last week we talked about Jesus having a sense of humor. And there's another little incident where I feel like Jesus had kind of a sense of humor as well, because Jesus was out in kind of a wilderness area, and people from the nearby towns were hearing about him. And so they came out and The Bible said that there was over 5,000 people listening to him teach. And the disciples came up to Jesus and said, hey, Jesus, we better send these people away because we don't have any food. And it's getting kind of late. And so Jesus looked at Philip and he said, Philip, why don't you give them something to eat? And I thought that was kind of funny because, 5,000 people and he's, saying, hey, Philip, why don't you give them something to eat? And Philip says, well, I don't know what to do. All we got here is these 5 fishes and 2 loaves of bread. And so Jesus, I think he kind of said, okay. I still haven't gotten through to you that I can make this miracle happen. And so anyway, Jesus puts the bread and the fishes together and starts passing it out. And pretty soon they collected over 12 baskets full left over after feeding 5,000 people, had them sit down in groups of 50 and so forth. Anyway, the next thing that happens is kind of funny as well, because Jesus sends his disciples into the boat going across the Sea of Galilee, and he took some time to dismiss the people, and then he wanted to just relax and recharge. So he went up into the hills and just took some time to pray. And he prayed into the early hours of the morning, and he could see the boat that the disciples were in hadn't gotten very far because the wind was against them, and they were rowing, and they just weren't getting anywhere. So Jesus starts walking out onto the water to meet them. And Mark is the only one in his gospel that says that as he was about to pass them. But yes, as he was about to pass them, they looked over and they thought he was a ghost, but then he revealed himself to them. And Peter says, hey, Peter, hey, Lord, if this is really you, let me come out on the water to meet you. So Jesus says, yeah. Okay, you can do that. And so I want to just show you this little passage here where Jesus says, shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. It's a ghost, they said, and cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid. Lord, if it's you, Peter replied, let me come to you on the water. Come, he said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came towards Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and beginning to sink, cried out, Lord, save me. Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. You have little faith, he said, why do you doubt? And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, truly, you are the Son of God. And you can kind of see, what it might have been like in this artist's depiction. The waves were high and the boat was far off, and Jesus called to Peter. Peter called to Jesus, let me come to you. And I thought it was very, very interesting. If you look back here, Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came towards Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and began to sink. He cried out. I think it's very interesting that Peter was all charged up to go into this water walking experience, but he started looking around and he started thinking to himself, oh my gosh, I'm walking on water. I'm not supposed to be walking on water. What if the waves come over and knock me down? What if I start sinking? And he started thinking about all the what ifs. And when he took his mind off of the situation, off of the focus of Jesus and onto his situation in life, he began to sink. And I think that we are all experiencing the wind, like in this story, in our lives. We're feeling it. We're feeling the wind in our homes, in our jobs, in our communities, our families, our friendships, and even with our children and our spouses. There's just a lot of wind. And, there are many people who are worried about what tomorrow's going to bring. Are they going to have a job? Are they going to have the money? Are they going to be able to keep their house? Are they going to be able to afford to drive their car? And, there's a lot of wind right now. But I want to encourage you with this verse from Proverbs 29:26. It says, many seek an audience with a ruler, but it is from the Lord that one gets justice. Another translation says it this way: many seek an audience with a ruler, but justice for humanity comes from the Lord. So I want to encourage you this evening, don't focus on your circumstances. Peter did, and he began to sink. But focus on God, because God is the one who's going to see you through. He's the one who's going to see you through. He says, don't be anxious about anything, but in everything, through prayer and supplication. Supplication just means asking for things with thanksgiving. Let your request be known to God, and the peace of God, which passes all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. In other words, he's just saying, don't worry about this. Don't worry about this. I will walk with you. I will walk beside you. I will not let any harm come to you. So don't focus on your circumstances. Keep your eyes focused on God through this pandemic, and he will see it through. It's not going to be easy. God never says anything's going to be easy, but he does say it's going to be possible. Everything, all things are possible with God, is what Jesus said. Kind of reminds me of this song here by Bob Dylan. I heard Dylan on the radio the other day. Apparently he has a new album out, and he's sounding a bit old, but then again, we're all getting a little old. I'm sure that Peter felt like he was knocking on heaven's door as he was sinking, but he cried out and the Lord saved him. Mama, take this badge off of me. I can't use it anymore. It's getting dark, too dark to see. Feel I'm knocking on heaven's door. Yeah. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Feel I'm knocking on heaven's door. Mama, put my guns in the ground. I can't shoot them anymore. That long black dark cloud's coming round. Feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door. Yeah. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. And feel I'm knocking on heaven's door. Yeah, knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. I feel I'm knocking on heaven's door. Bobby Dylan. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, I've got my phone set up here now, and I want to see if you guys can tell me in the chat, what was the very first album, the very first record album, those big vinyl things? What was the very first record album that you bought, the very first one as a kid or a teenager? I see a lot of people here that are watching. Hey, Bev, Corey, thanks for watching. Barb, Nathaniel, Lori Graham. Oh, hi, Lori. Nice to see you, Lori Graham Acker. We've got Pat O is watching. Susan from Susan Eisenmanger, Dr. Susan. Renee, Alan Savage. All right, guys, super. Thanks for tuning in. So if you can't remember, what was your favorite album from your teenage years? Pete says Sonny and Cher. All right, that was a good one. Yeah, Sonny and Cher. I think it was ELO. Oh, ELO. Corey says it was ELO. Well, I'm going to show you a picture of my very first album that I bought. See if you can relate to this, okay? There's the first album I ever bought. Oh, Mark Bailey says The Wall. My first album was The Monkees because I loved watching that show on TV. And I would sit down in my basement and I set up little cardboard boxes with Tinker Toys for drumsticks and little guitars. And I pretended I was in the Monkees, playing along with their songs. And that was my first really memory of, being in a band, so to speak. And so, somebody says, Claudette says Chicago. The Beatles. Okay, yep, the Beatles, yes. Peter Frampton. Your sister Lori, Debbie says Peter Frampton. So my second album, can you imagine what my second album would have been? Well, probably you guessed it. My second album was more of the Monkees. I was a little bit obsessed with the Monkees. I know, it's crazy. But anyway, we watched that show, religiously at our house. I always had to make sure I was home on that evening. I don't remember what evening it was, but yeah, we used to watch that television quite a bit in our house, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to play a few of my favorite songs from those eras of the Monkees. Take the last train to Clarksville and I'll meet you at the station. You can't be there by 4:30 'cause I made your reservation. Don't be slow. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, no, no. 'Cause I'm leaving in the morning and I must see you again. We'll have one more night together till the morning brings my train and I must go. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, no, no. And I don't know if I'm ever coming home. Well, take the last train to Clarksville now. I must hang up the phone. I can't hear you in this noisy railroad station. All alone I'm feeling low. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, no, no. And I don't know if I'm ever coming home. Well, take the last train to Clarksville. Take the last train to Clarksville. Yes, take the last train to Clarksville. Take the last train to Clarksville. I'm not your stepping stone. I'm not your stepping stone. You're trying to make your mark in society, using all the tricks that you used on me. You're reading all those high-fashion magazines, but you won't find your girl enough to go through the scenes and say, I'm not your stepping stone. No, no, I'm not your stepping stone. Well, when I first met you, girl, you didn't have no shoes, but now you're walking around like a front page news. You've been awful careful about the friends you choose, but you won't find my name in your book of who's. No, I'm not your stepping stone. No, I'm not your stepping stone. Not your stepping stone. I'm not your stepping stone. I'm not your stepping stone. I'm not your stepping stone. Oh, I could hide neath the wings of the bluebird as he sings. The 6 o'clock alarm would never ring. Oh, but it rings, and I rise, wipe the sleep out of my eyes. The shaven razor's cold, and it stings. Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? You once thought of me as a white knight on a steed, and now I know how happy we could be. Oh, but those good times start and end without $1 to spend. But how much, baby, do we really need? Well, cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? Well, I thought love was only true in fairy tales, meant for someone else, but not for me. Oh, love was out to get me. Do-do-do-do, that's the way it seemed. Do-do-do-do, disappointment haunted all my dreams. Well, then I saw her face, and I'm a believer, and not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love, ooh, love, I'm a believer. I could leave her if I tried. I thought love was more or less a given thing. Seems the more I gave, the less I got. Oh, what's the use in trying to do? All you get is pain. Do. When I needed sunshine, I got rain. Then I saw her face, and now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm a believer, yeah, I'm a believer. I'm a believer, yeah, I'm a believer. I'm a believer, yeah, 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 yeah. Ah, the Monkees. Some great memorabilia songs there. Some great oldies but goodies. Thank you so much. Yeah, you know, in our house, well, I don't know about everybody in our house, but I really love to watch, you know, the old sitcoms and the TV shows. as a family, we used to sit down, maybe I think it was on Saturday nights, and watch the Lawrence Welk Show. Remember the Lawrence Welk Show? Bonanza was one of the other shows that we watched. And I like to watch some of the sitcoms, the variety shows, like Carol Burnett was one of my favorites. Sonny and Cher had their own show. That was always a good one. Uncle Milton Berle, was another great one. Dean Martin had his own show. That was great. Glenn Campbell. I mean, all these people. Who? Ed Sullivan. Yeah. Right now in our show. Really big show tonight. Topo Gigio and the Flying Wallendas. Right here on our show. But the other things that I used to rush home from school so I could sit down in front of the TV and watch those afternoon fun sitcoms. And maybe, TV theme songs now, they just don't have sing-along ability. Is that a word? Can I make that up? Sing-along ability. But some of the old shows had some great introduction. When you heard it, you knew it was coming in. Just sit right back and you hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic port aboard this tiny ship. The mate was a mighty sailing man, the skipper brave and sure. 5 passengers set sail that day for a 3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour. The weather started getting rough. The tiny ship was tossed. If not for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost. The minnow would be lost. The ship sank round in the shoulder of this uncharted desert isle. With Gilligan, the skipper, to the millionaire and his wife, the movie star, the professor and Mary Ann, here on Gilligan's Isle. They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're all together ooky, the Addams Family. Their house is a museum. When people come to see them, they really are a scream, the Addams Family. So grab a witch a shawl on, a roost that you can crawl on. We're gonna take a call on the Addams Family. One more time here. Well, come and listen to my story about a man named Jed. A poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. Then one day he was shooting at some food, and up to the ground come a bubbling crude. Oil, that is. Black gold. Texas tea. Well, the first thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire. And the kinfolk said, Jed, move away from there. Said, California is the place you ought to be. So they loaded up the trunk and they moved to Beverly Hills, that is. Swimming pools, movie stars. Well, Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me. Land spreading out so far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside. Oh, New York is where I'd rather stay. I get allergic smelling hay. I just adore a penthouse view. Oh, darling, I love you, but give me Park Avenue. The chores, the stores, fresh air, Times Square, you are my wife. Goodbye, city life. Green Acres, you are there. We'll come riding little train that is rolling down the track to the junction. Junction. Forget about your cares. It is time to relax at the junction. Junction. Lots of curves, you bet. Even more when you get to the junction. Petticoat Junction. Well, there's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the Junction, Petticoat Junction. It is run by Kate. Come and be her guest at the Junction, Petticoat Junction. And there's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the Junction. Whoa, Petticoat Junction. A horse is a horse, of course, and this one will talk to this voice, his horse. You've never heard of a talking horse? Talk to Mr. Ed. Well, people yakety yak a streak and waste your time a day, but Mr. Ed will never speak unless he has something to say. A horse is a horse, of course, and this one will talk to this voice, his horse. You've never heard of a talking horse? Well, listen to this. I am Mr. Ed. Wilbur, come in the room. I need you. I hope you can stand one more. Well, here's the story of a lovely lady who was bringing up three very lovely girls. All of them had hair of gold, like their mother. The youngest one in curls. It's the story of a man named Brady who was busy with three boys of his own. There were four men living all together, and they were all alone. Until the one day when this lady met this fellow, and they knew that it was much more than a hunch, that this group would somehow form a family. And that's the way they all became the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch. That's the way they became the Brady Bunch. Woo, yeah. Don't you love those old television theme songs? I do. I still love them. I still love them. Yes, I do. Well, yesterday was Mother's Day. How did you guys, what did you guys do? Anything fun for your moms on Mother's Day? I went to the post office thinking that I could get there on Thursday morning and get a letter to my mom or a package to my mom by Saturday night. And I could for a mere $58. So I said, no, we're not going to do that. No, it wouldn't be prudent at this juncture. So I called my mom and told her, I said, Mom, happy Mother's Day, but you got a surprise coming this week. So in lieu of that, my mom asked me if a while ago if I could play one of her favorite songs. And so I decided that tonight I was going to play this for my mom. It's an old John Denver song, and she loves it. I love it. It was on the Back Home Again album, and I know Melissa probably has that album. When I was a little bitty boy, just about for the floor, we used to go down to Grandma's house every month and or so. We'd have chicken pie and country ham and homemade butter on the bread. But the best darn thing about Grandma's house was the great big featherbed. It was 9 feet high and 6 feet wide and soft as a downy chick. It was made from the feathers of 4 lemon geese, took a whole buttercloth for the tick. Well, it'd hold 8 kids and 4 hound dogs and a piggy we stole from the shed. We didn't get much sleep, but we had a lot of fun on Grandma's featherbed. Well, after supper we'd sit around the fire, the old folks would spit and chew. Pa would talk about the farm and the war, and Granny sing a ballad or two. Well, I'd sit and listen and watch the fire till the cobwebs filled my head. Next thing I know, I'd wake up in the morning in the middle of the old featherbed. It was 9 feet high and 6 feet wide and soft as a downy chick. It was made from the feathers of 40 lemon geese, took a whole buttercloth for the tick. Well, it'd hold 8 kids, 4 hound dogs, and a piggy we'd stole from the shed. We didn't get much sleep, but we had a lot of fun on Grandma's featherbed, yeah. Well, I love my ma, I love my pa, I love Granny and Grandpa too. I went fishing with my uncle and I wrestled with my cousin. I even kissed Aunt Lou. Ugh. But if I ever had to make a choice, I guess it ought to be said, I'd trade 'em all, 'cause the gal on the road for Grandma's featherbed. Well, I'd trade 'em all, 'cause the gal on the road. I don't know what John Denver mumbled right there, but it was something that was under his breath and I couldn't understand. It was probably like something like, well, better think twice about the gal on the road. Well, it was 9 feet high and 6 feet wide and soft as a downy chick. It was made from the feathers of 4 lemon geese. Took a whole pot of cloth for the tick. Well, it hold 8 kids and 4 hound dogs and piggy we'd stole from the shed. We didn't get much sleep, but we had a lot of fun on Grandma's featherbed. It was 9 feet high and 6 feet wide and soft as a downy chick. It was made from the feathers of 40 lemon geese. Took a whole pot of cloth for the tick. It hold 8 kids and 4 hound dogs and a piggy we'd stole from the shed. We didn't get much sleep, but we had a lot of fun on Grandma's featherbed. We didn't get much sleep, but we had a lot of fun on Grandma's featherbed. Woo-hoo! Yee-haw! Is right. Oh. All right, well, speaking of family and having fun together and so forth, we always have a toast together when we're together here on Monday nights, and even during the live shows, I almost always have a toast with my friends because, well, we learned it in Mexico, and when Latino families and friends get together, they have a traditional Latino Mexican toast, and so Debbie, do you have your drink? Well, come on up here. I'm going to invite Debbie to come on up. Make a cameo appearance here tonight.
Okay, where do I look?
You're looking right there.
Oh.
At that red thing. This is my wife, Debbie, for those of you who don't know.
Better know.
The Mexican toast goes like this. We have 4 little phrases. The first one, we raise our glass, we say up. In Spanish, it's arriba. We lower our glass. In Spanish, we say abajo. We put our glass straight out, and in Spanish, it's el centro. And then in Spanish, we say to the inside is pa dentro, and then we drink. Before we drink, we say salud. So one more time, it's arriba, abajo, el centro, pa dentro. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, thanks for watching Monday Night Music here with Ken Wanovich and Debbie. Cameo appearance by Debbie Wanovich. And we salute you guys. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your support and
your patience.
And your patience.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's all worth it.
Thank you. It is worth it for sure. It's worth it to be together. So here's to all of us together. Thanks for we can get together by the miracle of technology around the United States and some even probably around the world. So let's have a toast together, shall we, friends? Here we go. Arriba, abajo, el centro, pa dentro. Salud, amigos.
That water tastes good.
Yeah. Well, we had to change the words of this next song. How it began, I can't begin to know when, but then I know it's going strong. It was in the spring, then spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along? All right, listen closely now, folks. Listen closely. Hands, wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Wear your mask in every public place. Oh, sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. So good, so good, so good. I've been inclined to believe they never would, but now I look at the nights and they don't seem so lonely, and we fill it up with only two. And when I hurt, hurting runs off my shoulder. How can I hurt when I'm holding you? Come on now, let's see those hands. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Wear your mask in every public place. Oh, sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. So good, so good, so good. I've been inclined to believe they never would. No. Oh, hands. Come on now. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Wear your mask in every public place. Oh, sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. So good, so good, so good. I've been inclined to believe they never would. Oh, sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. So good, so good, so good. I've been inclined to believe they never would. Try that again. To believe they never would. Oh no, sweet Caroline. We have to have a little fun. We have to have a little fun with the situation. Wearing those masks and all that kind of stuff. It's nothing that we enjoy doing, but I guess to be respectful, to be respectful to other people, we can do that. We can do that. Well, many of you told me that there was some dancing going on last week in your living rooms, kitchens, wherever you were watching, and so I thought, you know what, we got to keep the chain going. We got to have a dance, a romantic dance song. One person said to me last week, she goes, "Oh my gosh, I wish that my husband was here. I would have loved to danced with him to your song." I think she was talking about Harvest Moon. But this song is, it's an oldie but goodie. And I think that generation after generation after generation still like some of these old but great songs. This one is by the Righteous Brothers. Oh, my love, my darling, I hunger for your touch on long, lonely night. and time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine? I need your love. Oh, I need your love. Godspeed your love to me. Lonely rivers flow to the sea, to the sea, to the open arms of the sea. Lonely rivers sigh, wait for me, wait for me. I'll be coming home, wait for me. Oh, my love, my darling, I hunger for your touch. A long, lonely night, and time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine? I need your love. Oh, I need your love. Godspeed your love to me. Oh, oh, oh. Hey. My friend Dave says all the time, "Oh, that didn't suck." I hope you enjoyed dancing together. That's a great dancing song. Pat says, "Thanks for a great evening." Thank you, Pat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, we're winding down here. I just got one little thing to say to you. Jesus gave us this talk called the Sermon on the Mount, and you can read about it in the Gospel of Matthew, chapters 5 and 6. And he gave a teaching that talked about prayer and loving your enemies and wise and foolish people. And one of the things that he talked about in this Sermon on the Mount is about money. And right in the middle of his talk about money is sandwiched this paragraph that seems out of place. And I want to point it out to you. I want you to take a look with me, okay? Here it is. Matthew 6:19-24. So Jesus says, "Do not store up treasures for yourself, treasures on earth. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moth and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Now here's the strange part. It goes, "The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness?" That seems really strange to me. But then he goes back on track. He goes, "No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Take a look at that section again. The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness? It kind of took me back when I was reading that, because everybody has a different take on what that means. I watched a lot of videos, read a lot of articles and so forth. But in Hebrew literature, in Hebrew poetry, there's a form of literature, a form of poetry where they state something and then state it again the opposite way. For instance, healthy versus unhealthy, light versus darkness. And if you look at the footnotes in that passage, right at the bottom there, Matthew 6:23, the Greek for healthy here implies generous. And also Matthew 6:23, the Greek for unhealthy implies stingy. In the Hebrew culture, if you hear a van, and I watched this, a Christian rabbi was talking about this passage. He said, you might be living in the suburbs and you hear a van driving through the streets and they're saying something, and this is very true in Mexico as well. You hear these people advertising different events and different things, sales going on, baseball games, so forth, but it'll be a cab or a car or some sort of a tricycle driving through, and they'll be mumbling something through a loudspeaker. And they might say, we're raising money for this particular event. A woman has cancer. She can't afford her medicine. So we're raising money for this lady to get medical treatment. And they'll say, and ladies and gentlemen, please give with a good eye. Give with a good eye. And I didn't realize this, but that's kind of it's a idiom in Hebrew. To give with a good eye means to be generous, and to give with a stink eye is to be stingy. And right here in between those two verses on money, Jesus says, the eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, then your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. In other words, he's saying the eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are generous, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are stingy, your whole body will be full of darkness. And basically what Jesus is saying there in between those passages on money is that you can't serve two masters. You can't be stingy and hang on to things and still love God, because you're going to either hate the one and love the other, or love the one and hate the other. And basically what he's saying is that if you want to please God, if you want to have a happy life, if you want to love the life that God has created for you, then don't be stingy. And a good example of this, as bad as it was all this hoarding of the toilet paper when we first started off. I still don't really know what that's all about, but you know what, folks? When we hold on to things really tightly, sometimes when they get ripped out of our hands, it really hurts. And I believe that God gives to us freely. It's kind of like a test. He's testing us. Are you going to hang on to that? Are you going to store up treasure for yourself? Or are you going to pass it on? There's a passage in the Psalm that says, Lord, please be gracious to us and bless us. And then there's this word, in order that. And the in order that is that we might pass that on to others. And I believe, and this is biblical, that the more that we're generous in passing our money on, the more God will trust us and give us more. And Debbie and I have the saying, and sometimes it's hard for me. I especially in these times where money's not flowing freely into our lives anymore like it used to. I'm talking about me now, and some people like myself have a tendency to wonder, oh my gosh, maybe I should hang on to this. Not sure if I'm going to get, any more money this week or this month. But I want to encourage you to give freely, because the more that we give, the more God trusts us. The money's kind of a cycle, it comes through us in order to be passed on to the people who we come across with. That's our ministry. That's what God gives us. Now, it's not always just money, but in this particular instance, Jesus was talking about money, and he was saying to us, if you're going to be stingy with your money, then you're going to have this darkness inside of you. But if you're going to be generous with your money, then your eyes are going to be like a lamp to the world, and people are going to see that light, and they're going to want to know, what is it? I want what you have. I want what you have. And folks, that's living the life that God has designed for us. That's loving the life that God designed for us, because he'll trust us when he trusts us with a little and we pass it on. Then he trusts us with a little more, we pass it on. He trusts us with a lot more, we pass it on. And he can rely on us to be dispensers of his goodwill, his good favor, and his good fortune. So I want to encourage you tonight to, as much as in these times we feel like we want to hang on to everything that we got, remember the poor. Remember the poor, because there are some people who are literally wondering where their next meal is going to come from. And we're doing our best to help some of our friends in Mexico who are in that exact position. This is a great song by a guy named Thomas Rhett, and I think you're going to enjoy it. It's one of my favorites. Of course, I always say that I've got so many favorites, but it's a great one. I think you'll love it. If I could have a beer with Jesus, heaven knows I'd sip it nice and slow, and try to pick a place that ain't too crowded, or gladly go wherever he wants to go. You can bet I'd order up a couple tall ones, tell the waitress she can put it on my tab. I'd be sure to let him do the talking, careful when I got the chance to ask. Well, tell me, how'd you turn the other cheek to save a sorry soul like me? Do you hear the prayers I send? What happens when life ends? And when you think you're coming back again? I tell everyone, but no one would believe it. If I could have a beer with Jesus. Well, if I could have a beer with Jesus, I'd put my whole paycheck in that jukebox and fill it up with nothing but the good stuff, yeah, and sit somewhere we couldn't see a clock and ask him, how'd you turn the other cheek to save a sorry soul like me? Have you been here from the start? How'd you change a sinner's heart? And is heaven really beyond all those stars? I'd tell everyone, but no one would believe it. If I could have a beer with Jesus. Now he could probably only stay for just a couple rounds, but I hope and pray he's staying till we shut the whole place down. Yes, I'd ask him, how'd you turn the other cheek to save a sorry soul like me? And what's on the other side? Is mom and daddy alright? If it ain't no trouble, tell 'em I say hi. I'd tell everyone, but no one would believe it. If I could have a beer with Jesus. Yeah, I'd tell everyone, but no one would believe it. If I could have a beer with Jesus. Yeah, with Jesus. Thank you. Well, there's a lot of great hymns that have been written over the years. I always like to do, if I can, not always, but I like to do a hymn as part of my program because I grew up singing hymns in the church, and they're kind of a lost art. I mean, I still love them, but they're not sung very much anymore. I thought about doing the dentist's hymn. You know which one that is, right? Crown him with many crowns. I thought about doing the weatherman's hymn. There will be showers of blessing. Then I thought about the tailor's hymn. You know, holy, holy, holy. I thought about singing the golfer's hymn. Swing low, sweet chariot. Or maybe the politician's hymn. This is a good one. Standing on the promises. And I almost thought about doing the IRS agent's hymn. I surrender all.
Did you make these up? They're pretty good.
Oh, yep. Those are some great hymns. Oh, my guitar's out of tune. I serve a risen Savior, He's in the world today. I know that He is living, whatever men may say. I see His hand of mercy, I hear His voice of cheer, and just the time I need Him, He's always near. He lives, Christ Jesus lives today. He walks with me and talks with me along life's narrow way. He lives, salvation to impart. You ask me how I know He lives. He lives within my heart. In all the world around me, I see His love and care. And though my heart grows weary, I never will despair. I know that He is leading through all the stormy blast. The day of His appearing will come at last. He lives, Christ Jesus lives today. He walks with me and talks with me along life's narrow way. He lives, salvation to impart. You ask me how I know He lives. He lives within my heart. Rejoice, rejoice, O Christian, lift up your voice and sing eternal hallelujahs to Jesus Christ the King, the hope of all who seek Him, the help of all who find. None other is so loving, so good and kind. He lives, He lives. Christ Jesus lives today. He walks with me and talks with me along life's narrow way. He lives, He lives, salvation to impart. You ask me how I know He lives. He lives within my heart. Amen. Amen. Well, thanks for being here with me tonight on Monday. I always enjoy seeing your requests and reading your comments. Thanks for all the comments, everybody. Christine, I'm going to put the link to the tip jar as soon as I finish up here. It'll be in the comments, and you'll be able to go to it there, okay? I know a lot of you have been supporters over the last couple of months, so thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you again next Monday night. I've been looking for a peace of mind. Yes, I've been looking for a reason why. This aching in my soul has torn me in two. A pain no one could know, but only you. And all this trouble I've been feeling and tries to bring me down, a stomp could break through this ceiling and fly my way out. When I can't catch my breath, there's nothing left to hold on to. I'm holding on to you, my Lord. I'm holding on to you. The sun is gonna rise again. Promise is the hope that I believe in. And all this trouble I've been feeling, it won't weigh me down. Gonna break through this ceiling and fly my way out. When I can't catch my breath and there's nothing left to hold on to, I'm holding on to you. Yeah, Lord, I'm holding on to you. And though my strength may fail, I know my heart is held by you. I see a new sun rising, and all this trouble I've been feeling could never keep me down, 'cause your grace is my healing. You're here with me now. When I can't catch my breath, there's nothing left to hold on to. I'm holding on to you. When I can't catch my breath and there's nothing left to hold on to, I'm holding on to you, my Lord. I'm holding on to you, Jesus, my Lord. I'm holding on to you. Yeah, my Lord. I'm holding on to you. The sun is gonna rise again. Yes, the sun is gonna rise again. All right, friends. Hold on to the Lord this week. Hold on to the Lord. Don't lose your focus. Don't let the winds of life distract you so that you start focusing on your problems. Start focusing on the winds. And keep your eyes focused on God. Amen. And have that good eye this week. Have that good eye. Be generous, because God will be generous with us when we're generous on His behalf. God bless you. Thanks for joining me on a Monday, and we'll see you next Monday. In all this trouble I've been feeling, and tries to weigh me down, wish I could break through the ceiling and fly my way out, when I can't catch my breath and there's nothing left to hold on to. I'm holding on to you, my Lord. I'm holding on to you, my Lord. I'm holding on to you. Holding on to you. See you next Monday. God bless you.